visitor and ordered more drinks from Tim, the landlord, that there was some debate about whether there actually was a glove. When? Libby was incredulous. Don't be daft, I'd have known. Why would you? Ben put down glasses on the table. I just would, said Libby. How do you know, Pete? It was in my early days at Reuters. One of the stories I was sent off to research, but nothing came of it. Peter had worked for the International News Agency for years, until he went freelance, which gave him the freedom to indulge his passion for theatre with Libby and Ben at their Oast Theatre, and to help, when necessary, at the little restaurant he owned with his partner Harry, the chef patron. "Oh, that's a shame," said Libby. "Think what a scoop that would have been. Wasn't Iomar still alive then?" "You should know," said Ben. "You're the fan." "Yes, she was, thinking about it. Early 80s she died, didn't she?" "I don't know," said Ben and Peter together. "So what do we do about young Tristan's offer?" said Peter. "Do we let them come?" "Oh, I don't see how we can say no to the National Shakespeare," said Libby. "And he might be right. They might be allowed to use the document, whatever it is, in the publicity, and think what a coup that would be." "It's a pity," said Libby, some 7 months later, "that they aren't bringing the Dream here. That would have guaranteed an audience." Ben looked at her sideways and swung the car into its parking space opposite number 17 All Hallows Lane. "It wouldn't play as well on the booth stage," said Ben. "I'm still wondering whether it will fit on ours." The National Shakespeare Tour, by a company to be known as the Glover's Men, as a nod to the Chamberlain's Men and the King's Men, had already begun, with performances at Dover and Maidstone, from where Ben and Libby had just returned. They were performing on a traditional Elizabethan booth stage based on illustrations from the time, on which the travelling companies would have played. "Oh, well, Twelfth Night's nearly as good," said Libby. "Very funny, after all. And if they get the right Olivia—" "Why Olivia?" Ben climbed out of the car. "Surely Malvolio and the Two Knights provide the comedy." "But Olivia can steal the show. There was that wonderful all-male production." "But this isn't. And surely part of the humour in that production came from the very fact that it was all-male." "Not at all." Libby looked shocked. "You haven't seen it, have you? We'll find it on DVD." Ben opened the front door, and Sidney the Silver Tabby shot out. "Do we have to?" asked Ben. "I think I'm going to be Shakespeared out over the next few weeks." "I might get it out for myself, then," said Libby. "I'm finding it all fascinating. I thought I knew quite a lot about Shakespeare, but I didn't. There's so much out there about him. The plays, his identity." "Oh, yes." Ben waved a whiskey bottle at her. "Whether or not they were written by him?" Libby nodded. "And who was he, really? There seems to be such a difference between the Stratford man and the London one. In Stratford he was mean and ill-educated. In London, generous and articulate." Ben handed her a whiskey glass. "Sounds as though you're in the anti-camp." Libby shook her head. "Oh, no. Shakespeare wrote those plays. A lot of the other authors who were suggested, like Kit Marlowe and the Earl of Oxford, were dead before many of them were written." "And what about artefacts?" Ben settled into his corner of the sofa. "Like the letter, have there been a lot of fakes?" "Oh, yes, loads over the years. I believe there have been several Love's Labours Won discovered. But from what young Tristan says, this letter's been authenticated by the highest in the land. I'm just hoping that his team keep on top of all the journalists who are bound to descend on us." "Poor Beth's got to put them up in the hall again," said Libby. Bethany Cole was the local vicar, and technically in charge of the church hall, which had been pressed into use as an incident room for the police in the past, as well as rehearsal rooms for the now defunct ukulele club. Now it was to be the temporary headquarters.